Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you are a regular here. This is the continuation of the Idaho 4 series of readings, and today I'm going to be looking into the energies and intentions of another Banfield boy, and it's Taylor Parkhill. Before I do that though, before I begin, I've got something very important that I meaning to do, and to be honest with you, the last reading, I did not realise just quite how many of you had joined as members. I was absolutely blown away, and I'm very humbled, and thank you to all of you. I'm going to thank you properly now. If you just bear with me. Wow, the numbers keep going up, guys. It's like amazing. So let me say thank you to each of you individually. So I'd like to say thank you to Kim, Crime Time, Ashley Lauren, Roe, Sherry Ray Basulto, Dana Smith, Amber Lamps, Sparkly Pixie Dust, Amy, Saveri Lal, Laurie, Bay Sheligant, I think. Please forgive me if I'm pronouncing half of these wrong. B. Sheligant, I get it now. It's a pun. B. Sheligant, okay. Diana Boyd and Caroline Rimmer. Thank you guys so much and welcome to the channel membership. Hopefully I won't disappoint you. You get to watch this. All of you get to watch this video 24 hours before anyone else. So thank you. Yeah, so we're going to get straight into this. I've had a very busy week. Very busy week. It's just been non-stop, which is good. But, you know, I'd like to have done more on the Idaho 4 readings, but there's not enough hours in the day, unfortunately. So let's go. We're starting with the Clarifying Life Situations deck. As usual, I know absolutely nothing about Taylor Parkhill. One of you was very kind enough to email me his name and his picture. I'm not sure what kind of vibe I'm getting from him yet, but I did get a very strong vibe from someone else that I've seen a picture of. But I'm not going to go into that yet. You'll find out about that when I do the reading. So this is a psychic reading. I use oracle cards and tarot cards, and occasionally I get messages from spirit. I don't claim anything that I bring up in this reading to be factual. It is all my opinion, and it is based on how I interpret these cards and messages, and you may interpret them differently, and I encourage you to do so. So let's go. Taylor Parkhill. Wow, these people stick together no matter what. So we have adapt to transformation. Embrace change with open arms, for it is the catalyst for your evolution and growth. And then we have fulfill promise. Stay commit. Gosh, it's one of those that's really. Sorry, can you see that? Like the writing is white writing on a white background. What are these people thinking? Especially for someone that's visually impaired like myself. Fulfill promise. It says stay committed to your path. Wow. For each step, this is like suspenseful, isn't it? Each step or each step forward brings you closer to your destined fulfillment. I'm not reading that again. Okay. Fulfill promise. Okay. Stay committed. This to me is just about the commitment and the loyalty that is existent between these fraternities, you know, through history. So what is this promise about? Is this something significant? Is it a promise to be loyal to the fraternity and honor the secret, if that makes sense? I don't know, but that's the thing. I don't even feel like it's that big of a secret. I think people that know, and it's, when I say it's accepted, it just feels like it's one of those places where people know what's going on behind the scenes, and they know there's no point in kicking up a fuss about it because nothing can ever be done. It's just, yeah, it's the way it is. It's the system. But let's carry on. So the next deck is the Secrets Revealed True Crime Oracle. That's a lot of cards. I'm going to pull 2 and save the rest for later. So we have 2 or more, and we have house. It seems quite simple to me that is just indicating that there were 2 or more perpetrators in. When I say in that house, it may not be that house. It may not be 1122 King Road, because I'm still convinced that the atrocities didn't all occur at 1122 King Road. I really don't believe that at all. But, you know, this could be indicating that there were 2 or more people who were responsible, who were in that house, maybe that night, you know, maybe they were there because of a party, I don't know, or maybe they were at a different house for a party, but this is definitely indicating 2 or more people who are directly responsible. Whether he's one of them, I don't know yet. So the next deck is the vocab deck. Gosh, I'm going to have a lot of cards to read tonight. Okay, let's do those 2. It's like the spirit's got verbal diarrhea tonight. So the first card is cobblestone. My bicycle bounced over the cobblestone pavement. A cobble is a small round stone used to cover roads. Definition: describing a road with cobbles laid on it. I mean, I'm thinking, because obviously I'm trying to relate this to any kind of crime which could involve unaliving someone. And I don't know if you know what cobbling is, like when you cobble someone. I think it's that thing where you break someone's ankles. It was a famous scene. Is it cobble or hobble? Could be hobble. I might have got that mixed up. But there is something called cobbling as well, which I think is like a medieval thing where they'd literally throw rocks at people to unalive them. So I don't know if there's a reference here to... Because it's interesting, because I know that Ethan was immobilised by his ankles being slashed. And I don't know if his bones were broken as well. I just don't trust anything anymore. I don't trust anything that we're being given, even if it is an official report. Even the official reports, they've redacted so much stuff because that's the stuff they don't want us to know about. So if they can do that, then... And again, I don't know if there's stuff that's redacted in the autopsy reports. And if there is, there could be stuff that they've deliberately withheld because it just points more and more towards the fact that it would have been impossible for one person like Brian Kobick to have done all of that in the space of time that he was meant to have been allotted. So, you know, just being able to unalive everyone in the manner that he did, it is, you know, I would say impossible on its own. But then if you're going to factor in things like, you know, we're veering into the realms of torture as far as I'm concerned, where you're deliberately breaking someone's legs or... Yeah, the movie I was thinking of was Misery, which is she hobbles him, not cobbles him, where she, breaks his ankle. It's not nice. Glade is the next one. After trekking through darkness and densely packed trees, we finally reached a glade in the middle of the forest. Definition: an open space in a wood or forest. Now, immediately I'm thinking of when you look at a map of where 1122 King Road was, and there's a woody area, I think, between there and... I don't know what road it is, guys, but was that their approach, or was that their escape route, or something here about, or even were a couple of them hiding out in the trees in the woods as, you know, as lookouts? Because it feels to me like this is something to do with him in particular. This Taylor Parkhill, like if he was involved, then he was involved by being a watch in the area when it was happening. Or being part of a signalling team kind of thing. I mean, it wasn't him that came when the boys were stopped by law enforcement on the Banfield. It was, I believe it was Saeed Ali that came running from the direction of the house, I think. But what I was going to say is, I'm wondering if was there a clear, you know, was that from the path from the house to where they were, did they have to run through trees, or was it pretty clear? I think it was pretty clear. I can't remember, but either way, there's something here about using trees or a small wooded area as cover. And then we've got the Echoes of the Soul deck. getting, as we get closer and closer, it's like, yeah, it's the the energy is getting very intense. I can feel it. So we've got the crimson veil. And we've got shadows of reflection. This is something quite literal, this card. This is something to do with shadows of someone running, or there's something here about them being, someone being caught on camera, but it would have been seen as a shadow of someone running. It wouldn't have been identifiable. I'm going to pull out the corresponding deck for this, because there's a corresponding deck to explain what this is about. So, Crimson Veil. Okay, so Crimson Veil, secrets, stepping into power. There's something so ritualistic about all of this as well. You know, it isn't just about a fraternity where we're talking about a band of brothers who will literally do anything for each other, and they're loyal till the end of time, and you know, which is what fraternities are meant to be about. It's meant to be about, you know, purity of brotherhood and all that kind of thing. It's not about that. It's much more sinister. It's very occult. Just feels very occult. I don't like using the word occult because it's been so misconstrued over the centuries to mean like dark, evil, you know, witchcraft kind of energy, which it isn't. The occult is just a word for spiritual practices, quite simply. But, you know, I'm using that word because I know how it will be received. So it says here, the crimson veil hangs between who you were and who you are becoming. It shrouds you in mystery, not to obscure your truth, but to protect and nurture it as you grow. That's very, you know, I mean, all of these people are so highly protected. Like, so and that's why they do these things, because they can. And that when you have the freedom to do anything you like, because there are no rules, then it removes your conscience somehow. I don't know how or why. I think it makes people crazy to a certain extent. whatever this is about, this card is just basically giving me energy of someone who is empowered by everything that's happened. This isn't someone who sits around in private, you know, really struggling with what's happened and with their conscience and feeling guilty. Is the actual opposite. So that's so dangerous. It's like when someone ends up feeling that way, that they're fearless, and there's no one, considering how young these boys are as well, it's like, I can't explain it. It's like there's no one that could make them feel inadequate. But you know, it's like if someone older, wiser, stronger, more experienced, more respected, that even that wouldn't make this person feel threatened in any way or belittled in any way. They'd probably feel like how dare you talk to me like that? It's very egotistical. There's just dark energy. There's this dark energy that just runs through their soul. It's like, there's something here about fire again. And this time I'm making a connection with fire and rituals. And I don't know if that's why I keep seeing fire through so many of the readings, because I don't believe every time fire comes up it's something to do with a bonfire they lit, or you know, the evidence being burned, or it's something to do with a ritual. It's almost like, you know, a fire being lit and then there's some sort of ritual going on with all of them, which happens, I don't know how often, but yeah, it's like, it's like they have some sort of mantra or chant or something here which they all, it's powerful. Whatever it is, it's powerful. And it feels ancient. It feels powerful and ancient and potent. I don't know what it is, but see, here's the affirmation. I release what no longer serves me and embrace the embrace the truth of who I am becoming. My inner fire guides me with courage and clarity. It's exactly that kind of thing. I can hear them chanting, or, you know, it's like reflection. Again, the fire of your transformation is both your guide and your strength. What lies behind your crimson veil, and again, crimson veil is very indicative or significant towards the crimson veil. I mean, if you're thinking about a crimson veil between life and death, then it's violence, it's sacrificial again. How will you honor this transformative moment and sleep and step into your power? It's so like, yeah, just so ritual. This card is so ritualistic. It's bizarre. So let me find the one for shadows of reflection. Why have I just picked that one? It's not the right card. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. Shadows of reflection. So many cards with the same, there it is, with the same words on. Okay. Key themes: contemplation, inner turmoil, seeking clarity, emotional growth, self-awareness. Your inner world, though sometimes clouded by shadows, is a fertile ground for insight and growth. The weight of your thoughts may feel heavy now, but remember, it is only temporary. Within these shadows lie lessons waiting to emerge. By sitting with your emotions, allowing them to surface without judgment, you create a space for clarity and transformation. Every shadow contains a gift of understanding if you are willing to receive it. This card encourages you to honor the complexity of your inner world. Instead of resisting uncomfortable thoughts or emotions, approach them with curiosity and compassion. Shadows are not your enemy. They are reflections of the parts of yourself that crave understanding and integration. By holding space for these feelings, you open the door to profound insights and emotional healing. Remember, clarity often arises from the quiet moments when you allow yourself to truly listen to what your heart and mind are trying to say. The affirmation on this one is, I embrace the shadows within me as teachers. It's literally like saying I embrace the darkness to teach me or show me the way. Through compassion and understanding, I transform them into wisdom and light. God. Wow. What do you see in your shadows today? And how can embracing them help you grow? I mean, good Lord. Talking of shadows, I'm never aware of what's going on behind me, but lately there's been a lot of activity going on behind me in my wings. They're not my wings, by the way, guys. I never ever, by the way, just wanted to clear something up. I never got this backdrop because I wanted to look like I was an angel. That was never the intention, ever. The intention is that I am protected by the angel. It's the angel's wings are a symbol of protection. And I would, what I was planning on doing was changing my backdrop every time the clocks change, which is coming up at the end of October. But I now feel like these are doing something. These are actually doing their job. And I'm a bit worried about taking them down. So I might have to leave them there, because some of the stuff I've seen, particularly in the Demetrius video, when I pulled out the devil card and this man-shaped shadow walked behind me, it was very apparent. It wasn't not hard to see at all. It wasn't the cat. you've seen the cat when it walks past my floor lights. It happened the other night. And you see them because it comes up, the shadow comes up to about there, and you see their tail. This was a man-shaped shadow that just walked past me, and it was in the Demetrius video. If you haven't seen it, please go and watch it. It's quite breathtaking to watch. So, and I to be honest with you guys, I would always know if there's some darkness in the house because I can feel it. So I don't know who that was, but I don't feel like they were a threat. And also in the video, actually, you see them to begin with. You see them walk this way past me, and then I'm carrying on doing my thing, completely oblivious to it. And then I'm doing the reading, and then I pull out the devil card, and then that's when they decide to leave. It's bizarre. So anyway, I've just gone off topic a bit. So the next deck is actually become my recent favourite, this one, which is the Revelation Oracle. Okay, so it does feel so, as I get closer and closer to the, everything being revealed, it's getting more and more apparent that everyone had their place or had a job. And there might have been, say, 3 or 4 people. I'm not saying there was, but there's definitely more than, I feel like there was more than 2 people that actually did the job, if you want to put it that way. But beyond that, there were people outside the house, in the area. There were people, everyone had a job or a role, and there's so many people involved in this. I mean, the ripples that even, okay, so we're looking at that particular night. So everyone would have been in place, knowing, there would have been, like I said, it feels like a chain, a signal chain. When is it time to go? One person signals another and they signal another, and then it's like, do you know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. But even beyond that, the days beyond that, the weeks beyond that, it's like these boys are the soldiers. That's what it feels like. They're the soldiers. It feels like they've been recruited to do something, to do the job. But there's something beyond that. There's factions beyond that. And what I'm being shown here is that the 2 cards that have been brought up as Seeker and Investigate. So maybe one of his jobs was, first of all, this is a bit of a lookout card as well, but it's more of a find, seeker, not seek a person, but seek knowledge, find out what's going on. It's like you need to go and find out where a particular person is, what are they doing, what are their plans, we need to prepare. I don't know, it's like that kind of thing. It's almost like a runner, but not a rugs runner. It's a runner to relay information without having to use devices, because if they use devices, then maybe that's going to leave a trail. And then we've got Investigate, which again is similar energy. It's research, it's getting intel on the victims. I don't know how deep that Investigate goes. Does it go into actually trying to befriend someone to find out what their triggers are, what their weaknesses are. It's like, so you can manipulate them to a certain extent to do something or be somewhere or behave in a certain way. I don't know how deep this goes, but and the biggest question is why? Why? What was everyone's reason? Because as I said, I don't think every single one of those 4 people were unalive for the same reason. I don't. I think possibly 2 of them were ritualistic, some sort of, I don't know what it is, but it feels like ritualistic and sacrifice. There's 2 words I keep getting, is ritualistic and sacrifice. But then the other 2 were either collateral or it was something completely, it's almost random. It's almost like heat of the moment, or, well, that's what I saw very early on, is that someone, and I can't remember who it was unalive because of a heat of the moment, loss of control. And I'm so confused by it, because I think I thought it was Ethan at the beginning, and now it might still be. But now I wonder, wouldn't Ethan have been one of the one? I don't know. These are the things I've got to work out. So now we're going to move on to doing a few tarot cards. I'm going to do the Everyday Witch. For some bizarre reason, I've been given the name Caroline just now. I don't know why, I don't know who Caroline is. So if anyone knows of a Caroline who has any connection to this situation, to not this particular situation, but to the you know, that's known, maybe it's a parent, maybe it's a, I don't know, but I've been given the name Caroline for some reason, which seems to be a connection to, and is his name Anthony? I've forgotten his name already. Taylor Parkhill. I don't know who this is. Sorry, so we have adapt to transformation, clarified by the 4 of Pentacles, and the Hermit. So the 4 of Pentacles is someone who's very, you know, very vigilant, very, they don't crack easily under pressure. They have a lot of self-control. This person does. Taylor has a lot of self-control. He feels quite stoic. The Hermit could indicate that he is Virgo. I don't know what his sign is. I have no idea. But beyond that, this is someone who, look at that picture as well. That's someone sitting in front of a fire after everything I said. Actually sitting there meditating, but maybe also, excuse me, maybe also he's got a thing about fire. I'm wondering that as well. It's like he finds it empowering in some way. I'm not saying he's going around, he's a pyromaniac. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that he may really get a lot out of the fire rituals that have been done, or the fire powwows or whatever they've been having, so much so that he does it when he's alone. He'll sit in front of a fire and go into a trance kind of thing, is what I'm getting. Fire's so mesmerizing. I can, you know, sit and stare into a fire. I'm sure a lot of you have done it as well, and then before you know it, you're seeing things. seeing images and people and situations and scenarios, and yeah, it's incredible. So the fulfill promise, he had a promise to fulfill, the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So again, this feels like the promise was to his responsibility feels like a female, and it feels like it doesn't feel like any of the girls. Again, I'm getting this same energy where it's like, I know, I mean, I don't know, I mean, I know the energies of Xana and Kaylee and Maddie. I don't claim to know them well, but I know that they're not this energy. So I don't know who this is, and I don't know if this is about fulfilling a promise to a female, and I don't know if that female's Caroline even, because it's almost, it could even be someone that's passed. It could be someone that's very, very significant connection to Taylor, who's passed, and that he promised this person before they passed that he would always, you know, he would never give up on his goals, or I don't know what it is. It's like, it's weird, because who would be proud of, if he is involved, who would be proud of that? I don't know what the connection is here, but it does feel like something where it's like a generational tradition of some kind, where, you know, it's almost like witchcraft, you know. I mean, my mum always joked that she's a witch, and I'm pretty sure I'm one, and it's like it's that thing which is handed down through the generations, something along the lines of that, and he is not going to disrespect that. The loyalty, or so, something weird. He promised this person that he would continue to honour the whatever it is. It's very odd. So I don't know if any of you know anything about his parents, grandparents, somethings that may have passed. It's odd. It may not even be a relative. It may be someone that he grew a connection to from a young boy. I don't know. It's an odd one. This also comes in with the world in reverse. This could be so many things. It could be when this person did pass over, his world was never the same again. It could be his world felt like it was turned upside down, because it's literally the world in reverse. It could be that it changed his it's something he thought he was going to accomplish or achieve was left unfinished because this person was no longer here. So many things. So then we've got 2 or more, clarified by the Ace of Cups. Gosh, we've had this before as well for one of the... I don't know if it was the Banfield boys, but it was... because it's something about an emotional connection. And the 7 of, oh God, I hope it's not that. The 7 of Swords. Again, it's a bit like what I was saying before. It's emotionally manipulating someone into trusting you so that you can have more control over them. That's what this feels like. And again, I don't know if he had any particular connection with any of the girls or even Ethan. You know, this could be about a connection he had with Ethan, because that brotherly bond, that brotherly love, I don't think they're in the same fraternity. Maybe they were. I thought he was in Lambda Kappa, whatever it's called, whereas Ethan's in... Yeah, so he's Alpha Kappa Lambda, and Ethan was something else. So these cards coming in, Seven of Swords, which is doing something dishonest or deceitful through the channel of emotional manipulation, it feels like, with the Ace of Cups. Three of Swords in reverse. Again, it's that Three of Swords in reverse. So it's like, forget about those three. The only person I need to be focused on is one of the four. So maybe each of them had someone. But that doesn't make sense either, because if they were only ever expecting to take two people, but maybe they realised earlier on there was going to be four. They knew there was going to be four, so they assigned one person to each. Because I'm telling you now, they weren't laying in their beds when they were, like we were being told. That definitely didn't happen. And I think one of the very first readings I did, I said that it was very much a busy party atmosphere. There was a lot of noise, there was a lot going on, there was a lot of drinking, there was chaos. I said that right at the beginning of my readings. This was not a quiet house where everyone was trying to sleep at all. It was nothing like it. So it probably would have been necessary for for it to have been a one-on-one situation for all four of them. Probably more than one person for all four of them per person. And again, this is being shown something happened within a house. One person. So I do wonder whether was he responsible for one person out of the four, and that was the only person, because again, I've said this before, there was only one person whose life was actually taken in 1122. The rest of them, something happened, it happened elsewhere, and they were brought back to the house. I don't know who it is. Don't know who it is yet, but I'm not saying he's the one that yielded the weapon, but it feels like he was someone who was very closely integrated into this somehow. So cobblestone. Clarified by the Chariot. Wow. Wow, so this is like someone being immobilized. So if, for example, they had their legs broken, or maybe a rock swung at their head to knock them out, and then they were bundled into a car. That's what it feels like. I don't know if it's Ethan, because when I saw that about him being bundled into a car, he was very much conscious and awake, and he didn't tell me anything about, I'm sure he would have told me about, oh, you know, they knocked me out. That would have been a key piece of information, which he didn't, and this feels like someone else. And then we've got the Three of Cups. So this is like Taylor, even though he was working, his job was to focus on one particular person. He's very close to two others. and they had their job to do as well, unless those two others were also all focused on one person, which is also quite possible. But this is teamwork as well, definitely teamwork, but it's so ordered and structured and military operation kind of energy. And then we've got Glade, Wheel of Fortune reversed. So again, as I said before, and I've said so many times, what they had planned didn't go to plan. At some point, everything was thrown up in the air. They had to think on their feet. Everything changed. And it was something to do with someone that they were expecting to have returned by a certain time that didn't. Or it could be the opposite, that someone returned way earlier than they thought they would return. One or the other, it threw everything off. And the Fool. So at that point, everything they did was a risk, because, yeah, it became unpredictable. It became, let's just hope this goes the way it should, or something else that was just came to me the other day, and I was like, oh my God, why had I not ever thought of that before? It was something to do with the neighbours, and of course it's gone, because I was sitting with someone else's energy at the time. It wasn't this person. Obviously I should always write things down and then I won't forget. So this card, the Crimson Veil. Page of Wands. So he feels like a very curious person. He's fearless, but he's very curious. He wants to know. He's always wanting to know more. He's always wanting to go further. He's always wanting to stretch the boundaries, you know. He's that kind of person. It's like once he's done something, he's done it, and he wants to do the next thing. And we've also got the Four of Wands reversed. So I don't know if this is about him. I don't know if I don't feel like he's one of those that's had a terrible upbringing, or he's had difficulty, you know, with his family growing up, or there's conflict or tension or anything like that. In fact, I feel like if there's anything he struggles with, it's because he's further away from his family than he would like to be. So I don't know how far away they are. But again, this could be something else. It could be that this situation struck a chord, or it evoked memories of past times when, like that lady that I brought up earlier, that, you know, if this person was here now, we'd be having the most amazing time, like a time to celebrate. So weird. I know it's weird, but she'd be so proud of me. It's that kind of thing I'm getting. So Seeker. I wonder what his sexuality is. Strange question. It doesn't matter, but I'm just wondering if he was, if he is bisexual or gay, or just don't know why I thought that. But anyway, 10 of Pentacles reversed. It's interesting because he doesn't feel like someone who aligns with when people have monetary or financial gain as a motive. It's like that is not what drives him. He feels like someone who's got much more, he's driven much more spiritually. That doesn't mean, you know, you can be, there's all kinds of spiritual energy. Yeah. And then we've got the investigating or investigate. Just realised that picture is of a doctor as well. The Hanged Man. So yeah, he was like a lookout. And again, there's this person hanging from a tree. It wouldn't be very subtle if that's what he did. I mean, I think that people might notice, but it's like that was his job to say, you know, not now, not now. You know, like when you're helping someone reverse out of a driveway or something, and you have to let them know, not now, not now, there's a car coming. It's that kind of energy. The thing I'm picking up is like, no, not yet, not yet. It's like that because the moment had to be right. And that's the kind of thing I'm getting for him. Shadows of reflection. This could also indicate that maybe he or someone else, because of this sudden change, and they had to think on their feet, and the risk they took meant that someone ended up having to run and be seen. That was a fear, that was a worry. When I picked up a card earlier and it was like, oh, you know, felt like he had a conscience. I think that's what it's about. It's like the fear, the worry that the wrong person saw him, or this could have been screwed up, or I don't know. And then this last card is the Crimson Veil, clarified by the Page of Pentacles, Ten of Cups reversed, the Eight of Swords, and the Tower in reverse. So it feels like, even though I don't feel like he's had a difficult upbringing, I feel like he's experienced some loss. Probably more than a child should have to experience through his younger years. And probably he's had to experience some kind of loss at a crucial age when, you know, it can make or break you kind of thing. Because the Ten of Cups in reverse is about nothing ever being the same again, or feeling the same, or feeling like what was once felt like a safe, secure family energy, something happened and that he never got that back, which doesn't mean he was having problems. It just meant that the missing link took that away, and maybe that's why he got so deeply involved in the fraternity, because that became his family that he could really absorb himself into instead. So let's have a look at these cards that decided to join the party at the beginning. So this is the Nothing to Lose. That's what I mean. That's what I was trying to say at the beginning. That's his energy. It feels like he's not afraid of anything. He will literally do anything. And he's so hungry for it. Then we've got motive. Wow, motive, hate crime. I wonder if he's got, I don't know why he would, but I wonder if there's something misogynistic about him. But then still haven't figured out whether it was Ethan or not. Then we've got buried. Something's buried. Probably a lot of things are buried. So we can find out what is buried. Drowning. Drowning. Who drowned? So there's some hatred that's built up from something that happened. And he's attached something to that experience. And he's like, there's a energy of avenging. Not because any one of those 4 people had anything to do with anything, but he's just attaching something to them because they remind him of someone, or I don't know. Maybe they're connected to someone, or they were connected to someone. We've got caregiver or helper. Did he have an elderly? One of his grandparents maybe were badly treated in a care home? What would that have to do with those 4? Unless one of their relatives was that person, or I don't know. It's starting to feel like a movie, isn't it? Power control. And again, is he the way he is because he has been under someone's control growing up? And then finally these vocab cards. So we've got array. The shop offered a vast array of toy cars. Dizzying, vast, broad and incredible. A large and impressive group of things or people. Like I said, there is definitely, I mean, it could be a large group of people, but it's so apt that that card has come out because it does feel like an array of people. Like they were scattered far and wide, or we're not talking about a tight group here. We're talking about, yeah. And we've got myriad. A myriad of fruit and vegetables were waiting to be packed. Myriad comes from the Latin for 10,000. 10,000, that's a significant number. I wonder if that's got something to do with money. It's not much though. 10,000 would be enough to cause all of this. And then an extremely large number of something. And again, there's that indication of something. There's a large number of people. We have dumbfounded. The monkeys were utterly dumbfounded when they heard their simian monkey friend spoke perfect English. It means gobsmacked, stupefied, astounded. Amazed, left unable to speak because of shock. And I don't think it's him. I think it could be whoever he had his sights on when they finally realised what this was all about. And we've got precarious. The lizard looked as though it could fall from its precarious position at any time. See, again, this could be someone literally up high in a tree. You don't know. He could have been high up in a tree somewhere. Unpredictable, unsafe, perilous, dangerously likely to fall. Crossing the road at the wrong time puts you in a precarious situation. That was the least of his problems, the least of the 4 people's problems. And it means not safe or certain, dependent on luck. Glacial. Without functioning radiators, the rooms were a glacial temperature. They actually said it was freezing cold in that house. I'm sure that's something Dylan said, because all the doors were open. Which is also very odd, because if I was in a house and I thought that someone had been in the house that was a potential robber or unaliver, and I was in frozen shock phase, I wouldn't be leaving all the doors open just to allow them a clear path back in. The word derives from the Latin for ice. Glaciers are blocks of ice that move very slowly, sometimes only 50 centimetres a year. I feel like that sometimes. If you move at a glacial pace, you are moving at the speed of a glacier. Like a glacier, very cold and icy or extremely slow. God, there's so much symbology there. Cold and icy and slow. It just feels like something that's so methodical, so planned out, so cold, void of emotion. Placid. We rested by a lake, far away from the bustle and noise of tourists. Serene, tranquil and still, calm and peaceful. It can mean placid, it can mean of a person or animal, not easily angered or excited. Yeah, I don't feel like he is someone who gets easily angered. I think he is kind of a bit scary in that sense, that it's just like you can't trigger him, if that makes sense. He knows what he wants, he knows where he's going, he knows what he wants to do, and it's like, it's interesting. But the calm and peaceful energy is just like, can you imagine the chaos and the noise and the screaming and the pandemonium and the chaos and, you know, and then suddenly, literally, deathly silence. I've only ever experienced that once, and that was when my own mum died, and she was in hospital, and she was on a ward with all these, you know, I think there was a lot of people on that ward who were also probably dying, but they were being very noisy about it. And my mum was a very humorous lady. She she just used to say this. There was a woman that, I don't know, she must have been 3 beds down or something, and she was just lying there going, I'm dying, like this. And my mum just shouted back, shut up, we're all dying, like this. But the point being, when she passed, there was silence like I've never ever experienced before in my life. And I don't know how to this day that happened, but there was no noise. There was no noise coming from other patients. There was not a footstep. There was not a sound of breath. There was not a bird outside. It was just so silent and still. And it may have felt like that lasted for about 10 minutes, but it probably in reality only lasted for 10 seconds. I don't know, but it was the most surreal experience. But anyway, that was the next in the series, Taylor Parkhill. It's interesting. It's getting deep. It's getting dark. It's getting, yeah. So yeah, please leave me your thoughts and your comments. I know you always do, and please know I always read everything. I don't get the time to sort of respond to every single comment. But I promise you, every time I sit down, if I get the chance to sit down with a coffee, I'm like, right, let's read these comments. It's the first thing I want to do because I really enjoy it, and I appreciate all of you. Thank you guys. Until next time, enjoy the journey.